Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of If You Know, You Know, the show for Web3 creators and enthusiasts. I'm super excited to have you guys here today. I am your host, Belle, and each week I bring to you new experts, people that are really changing the trends and really moving the needle forward in Web3. Every single week we are here. If this is your first time tuning into If You Know, You Know show, I do this show every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, always with new, amazing, freaking people here. You can also find us live on YouTube as well as on any of your favorite streaming platforms. Today we have on Wendy O, the Wendy O. I'm super excited to have you on. We are live on Spaces as well as on streaming, as on X and on YouTube. Wendy, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. I didn't remember that this was a video thing, but I'm happy to be here and to chat a little bit. And yeah.
I'm excited that you're here today with us. You look beautiful as always. I know that you were streaming earlier, and so I feel like you're always camera ready anyway.
I gotta be, but we don't have filters here. Just kidding.
I know we don't have filters here. Yeah, FYI, everybody, we don't have filters here. You still look amazing. No, you look perfect.
Thank you.
All right. Let's kick it off. Wendy, you are one of the women and you are one of the creators. You are one of the people that so many people admire that go into crypto through you. When I first started researching crypto and researching the Web3 space, I spent so much time on YouTube learning. I feel that, like, as any other mainstream form of technology or anything that is new in the space, right? Anything that is new now, more and more the spotlight gets put on creators and on experts that are not coming from the traditional kind of Wall Street anymore.
Who wants to hear from those people?
Nobody wants to hear from those people anymore. No, everybody wants to hear from other people like you that are relatable. Well,
not even from me, because, like, honestly, I say a lot of inappropriate things on the internet. I like to refer to myself as a shock jock. I say and I do what I want. I run my brand the way I want. There's a lot of other creators that I've noticed that they're joining other like entities, and essentially like their brand is owned by another company. And that's cool. That's on them, but it's not something that I would ever do. But yeah, I just like being on the internet and saying stuff, and I don't consider myself expert. I appreciate the kind words, but I just like to create content that is educational, but also that it's down to earth and real. And I like to explain things in plain English the best way that I can, because that's how I learn, is by articulating things that I've heard, that I've read. And to me, that's important, because I feel like most people don't understand, especially in crypto. And I was just actually talking about this on my show, because Vitalik had posted something about don't vote for whoever's pro crypto. And I'm voting for whoever's pro crypto. And primarily because of that is because I don't ever want to have to go back to living in poverty. And I want to be able to take care of my daughter, and I want to be able to take care of my community. And I feel like that once the rich people start telling you what to do, that's when you got to keep fighting back. And as far as that goes, like, I don't care what people do. People can do whatever it is they want to do. But at the end of the day, it's important to be able to have social skills and to be able to articulate things and communicate with people from all different backgrounds. Because again, at the end of the day, we're all brought into this world the same, and we're all leaving the same, and nobody's better than anyone. And as my boxing coach likes to say, you ain't shit, bitch.
That's a really freaking good reminder for all of us, right? Yeah. None of us are individually speaking. How'd you get started in crypto, Wendy? I know that I've heard you talk a little bit about how, like, impactful it was for your daughter, right? You and I are both moms to girls. And to me, it's such an important reason of why I do what I do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so my daughter, I heard about, actually my stepson in 2010, 2011, when he was living with me and my daughter's father. He's like, can I borrow your credit card to buy Bitcoin? I was like, hell no. Because I had heard about Bitcoin. Like, I had a friend that dated this guy, and he did some bad stuff. It was a pretty big case, but he ended up going to prison. She had no idea he was doing it. But I had heard about Bitcoin, etc. And it just, back then, there was not like how we use Twitter today and Spaces. We didn't have that back then. Like, things are completely different. A lot of people still use like the wall internet. So I was just like not interested at all to participate in Bitcoin, because even back then people were doing like actual meetups. You'd go to like a Starbucks, meet with people and buy it from each other, which could be risky. But then it's like 2016, like I had my daughter on August 5th, 2016. But so while I was expecting and whatnot, on my long drives to work, I would hear about Bitcoin and crypto on libertarian radio. I think it was like KFI, because it's pretty balanced, because I like to get both sides of the situation, especially being from Los Angeles. Like, I want to, I want to whatever. And that's when I was working in healthcare. And then I kept hearing it on libertarian radio. And then finally, in 2017, after I had my daughter, I called her dad, and I says, I'm going to buy Bitcoin. He's like, okay, fine. And we didn't fight about it, which was cool, because we used to fight about everything. But that's when I got in. I got in kind of the end of 2017. And then a family friend was like, oh, like, because I started posting about it a little bit on one of my private social medias. And he's like, oh, you should join crypto Twitter. I was like, what is this? Because I wasn't a social media person, and I did. And then I kind of taught myself how to trade, because I saw these cartoon characters making all this money. I was like, if they could do it, I can do it. I have a math background. So that's kind of how I got in. And then there was like no women when I was in crypto. Or when I first got in, there's like five of us. I feel like I can name all of them. But yeah, and then things just kind of snowballed from there.
What do you think about the progression of where we are today? What are some like top things that you can think of? All right, in the last 3 to 5 years, these are the things that really blow my mind that I didn't expect.
I thought that the explosion of DeFi back in summer of 2020 was freaking awesome. Like, it was really, really amazing. The industry because it was so quiet. Like, you have to remember the bear market of like 2018, 2019, 2020. It was like so quiet, and there's so many people that are trying to build things, but really we didn't, like, all the people that are in crypto now, most people came from NFTs, which I think is awesome, because that brought a whole entire completely different, diverse group of people. And like, one of the things I said the other day is like, NFT, like, a lot of NFTs are worthless, in my opinion. Like, a lot of the NFTs are worthless. They don't do what they said they're going to do. I'm not a big fan of the generative profile picture things, and that's fine. That's just my opinion. But NFTs brought a lot of women to the industry, which is really, really cool, because it's nice to see, people from different backgrounds, like, self-educating themselves and really practicing Bitcoin's true ethos in self-education and doing your own research, and, doing better for themselves. So I think it's awesome. Those are really cool too. And I hope that we see some cool things happen soon.
In the last year, ordinals came out, which is a little bit different than NFT, right? But a lot of people are still, including myself, are rocking the still animated PFPs on crypto Twitter. What are your thoughts on that?
If people like it, and this is the thing, I view NFTs, and when I'm mad about the 10,000 generative stuff, it's not that I'm mad about it. It's just that, to me, that wasn't the true intent and purpose of NFTs. Like, if you want to pay, because I have NFTs too, I've got a big collection, whatever, and that's cool. Like, if you want to pay money and trade them, or like buy an NFT and have it as your profile picture and ordinal out of the generative collections, that's super cool. Like, I don't care at all. But my whole point is that NFTs were created essentially for artists to own either in-game items, or maybe music, or like real artwork, so they can own the royalties and essentially kind of opt out of that predatory third-party system, which we do with Bitcoin with banks. So I don't have any ill will towards them. I just don't think that was the true intended purpose of NFTs.
NFT has gained a lot of popularities, especially for founders who had never founded anything before and found a home because there were royalties included, right? About a year later, the royalties stopped. And and with it went a lot of projects that were all different kinds of sizes, some big, some small, some right in the middle. But they no longer had a plan going forward, and the communities just kind of either stopped or weaned or got taken over, etc. Right? So ordinals, of course, do not have royalties. Opinions on that?
It's different. So, but again, this is the thing. You're talking about basically buying a membership to be friends with somebody, or to be part of a community, and that's fine. That's cool. Cool. Don't care at all. That I don't like. This is the thing. I have my own opinions about things, and I won't shame people for doing things that I disagree with at all. Like, if you know, just as long as you understand the risks and it makes you happy, that's awesome. But the difference between ordinals and with NFTs is, if ordinals don't have if they don't have the royalties, but everybody's always going to want Bitcoin one day, no matter how much it is. So it's a little bit different in that aspect. But again, like, ordinals have their own place in the ecosystem, and NFTs have their own place. And with NFTs, like we have the RWAs that are, the big buzzword of this cycle. But again, I really want to see a lot of NFT company, or not companies, but a lot of, I want to see the NFT industry really kind of shift towards actually supporting artists, especially musicians. That would make me very happy.
Musicians. What about musicians is it that you think is something special in your heart?
My grandpa was a jazz drummer. My aunt was a guitar player, and a singer. And also a very, very talented, very, very talented artist. My daughter is she's a musician herself, and I've got a great person. That's his guitar there. But I've just saw so many friends in the music industry, because you have to remember, I'm from LA County. I'm born and raised California, and I've had so many friends that were in bands that really tried to do really cool things, and they were just treated like absolute garbage. And I watched them go through that. I watched really, really talented individuals be treated differently because they look different, even though that they had talent. And the type of predatory practices that the entertainment industry practices is just, it's wild.
Yeah. I think there's a huge opportunity for musicians to make it, not just in the industry, like the blockchain technology of being able to assist in what they do, but a lot of musicians right now are coming into the space via the meme coin mania. Yeah.
Well, so there's a difference. To me, there's a difference. And again, no shade to any of them, but like the whole celebrity meme coins and stuff, whatever, I think it's kind of funny. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, I just don't know at what point people fail to start practicing due diligence and start understanding risk, and then they continue to blame it at people. So, I mean, a lot of these guys, a lot of these entertainers or celebrities or musicians, they've been watching from behind the scenes, or they've been participating, on different alt accounts, but they've been in the ecosystem, they've been engaged. That just hasn't really come public. I mean, I've consulted for a couple entities last cycle and whatnot, but a lot of them really kind of don't know where to start. And I don't want to say it's lack of education, but it's just crypto is still pretty complex. So if people want to launch meme coins, cool. If they want to create their own project, cool. Again, doesn't bother me any way, shape, or form. Like if I decide to invest in something or participate in a specific community, I understand the risks associated. I'm not going to get mad at anyone but myself, unless they lie to my face. That's a little bit different.
Yeah. From a consumer standpoint, what do you think are some of the things that some people should be looking out for as far as that? When we see a musician or a celebrity launch something, what are some things that we should be looking out for?
I mean, you should always be skeptical of everything. Like, just because it's a celebrity that's launching something, why wouldn't you want to practice the same due diligence that you would with a brand new layer one or with a top 100 project? Like, I'm not understanding the disconnect between self-accountability and also really practicing due diligence, like checking wallets, making sure that there's not one entity that's holding a specific amount of coins, et cetera. But again, like the type of cycle we're in, it's also about reading the room. Like the type of cycle we're in is meme coins. The type of cycle we're in is people launching stuff and going from one place to the other. With the creation of Pump.Fun, we have like hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of different coins. Like none of those are going to sustain for the most part. There might be a couple outliers, but we saw this happen. We saw the same craze happen back in like 2020 with DeFi Summer. We saw all these food tokens. They were everywhere. They would always be in my mentions, me. I forget which one it was, but they would always put like fried chicken in my hand, which is our tendies in my hand, something ridiculous. But it's no different. It's just bigger. It's on a bigger scale now. And there's not a whole lot of brand new people that have entered the markets recently. So I'm not understanding why people stop doing due diligence or, practicing risk management.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I want to switch gears and talk about the political stance of where we are right now. You've been talking a lot about your thoughts on it, and I wanted to get like an overview on where the hell do you think that we are right now? What is your gut feeling on how the politics of the United States help us, hinder us? How should we in the crypto world be looking at it?
So this is the thing. We're supposed to be operating in a true decentralized economy, but we don't. I feel like humans are incapable of being able to think for themselves in most cases. And we see that because we see people that are supposed to be operating in this true decentralized economy, but then they make a bad financial choice and then they blame somebody else for their decision. And to me, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. But then also too, we're like, oh, we shouldn't be wanting regulation. We shouldn't want regulation. We could just do whatever we have to do. I'm not paying taxes. I'm not doing this and that. There's so many different takes. Me personally, I'm a realist. There has to be a happy medium between public servants and between any industry. Like there's always has to be safeguards put in place, not because I need them. I personally don't care. Like I've been able to take care of myself pretty much my entire life. I don't need somebody policing me and telling me what I can and can't do, but most people do. So for me, I'm voting pro crypto, because if I don't vote pro crypto, then I'm going to have to move out of the country. And I feel like there is, like, we've been kind of, ever since I got into this industry end of 2017, there's been talks about regulation. Hester Peirce put in the Safety Harbor Act 2.0. That never got approved. So it's like there's been talks about regulation, but no one's actually done anything to really to push it forward. So I hope that we get a pro crypto president. I hope that we start making some get some laws, legislation, get something that protects consumers, because realistically, it's not going to protect anybody but the people that are creating these laws, because they really don't serve the public. And I hope that retail is represented, because that's a really big facet of the entire industry that's not represented, even though we think it is.
Where do you do a lot of your research? In the world of AI creeping up, and this is a huge problem on the last election cycle, there's a big risk of so many people obtaining the wrong information from the wrong sources. What are some things that you do to make sure that you're looking at the right things?
I mean, the whole thing with AI, I don't really like AI. I'm not a big fan of it, primarily because I feel that I feel like in the long run, it's not going to be a good thing, but I'm not going to go too much into that. But again, I'll use it. I'll grift off of it like everyone else. I'll buy the AI tokens, all of that. And that's called ethically grifting, because you're not going to be able to stop something, but you make money alongside it. And just as long as you're honest and you're transparent, everybody does it. But I look at multiple different sources. Like, I do get a lot of my news from Twitter. Thank goodness we have all these little tabs that we can scroll through, or these lists. And then I fact check them on different, different outlets and whatnot. And I will talk about it with my team and different things like that.
Going into this new cycle that we are entering in 2024, are you looking at what kind of coins are you looking at right now? And how do you think that meme coins or altcoins are going to be playing into that?
So for me, this cycle, there's 4 different tiers. And I talk a lot about profit taking and risk management. And for some reason on Twitter, Twitter and TikTok, it just gets missed completely. Like people just don't really, they don't seem to understand it. But on YouTube, my audience gets it.
Yeah.
So I've got 4 tiers. So we have Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is like my long-term stuff, something I'm really not interested in selling for the foreseeable future. However, if I have an emergency, or there's something that I want, like if I want to buy a property, or if I need, God forbid, there's an emergency, something, I will sell my Bitcoin. I don't shame anyone for selling any way, shape, or form. Like that's ethical selling. So there's my Bitcoin, something I don't plan on selling, but if I have to, I will. And then we've got like some of the blue chip stuff, like some of the, like the top 100 stuff. And with that, some of those I won't sell. Some of them I'm accumulating so that I can go ahead and sell, hopefully the top of the market, because we all want to sell high. And then there's like the mid cap stuff. Those I'm more aggressively taking profit. I'm creating moon bags. And with a lot of the meme coins, I'm just, I'm playing around with those and not making moon bags as much, but I'm aggressive. From the top to the bottom, I'm aggressively taking profit more and more and more.
Yeah, that makes sense. Are there any of those, crazy, funny new meme coins that you've gotten into? Or
I can't say it, because if I say it, people will lose their minds and they'll be like, you said this, or you took a picture with this person and you did this, you shared this on your platform. So I like to save those things for my YouTube channel. When it gets brought up, I do disclose to my audience, hey, I did this, blah, 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 because I'm able to verbally articulate it. And then I can add more of a disclaimer in the disclaimer situation, because I don't have time for people taking, misusing my words or misusing my intentions that don't have basic reading comprehension skills.
That's true. That's true. You bring up a really good question that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, and that is the content creation side of it. There are so many content creators who are maybe just now getting into crypto, or that want to learn out in public, right? You have made such a big name for yourself on YouTube, but you're also on Twitter. Usually it's hard for a person to go from one to another. On the newer creators, you're such an OG, Wendy, that you have been able to kick it on both sides, right? But what are some tips that you would give to maybe a newer creator on stepping into the world of gaining attention?
So I didn't plan to grow a following on social media. That's not how it worked. I didn't get on Twitter to grow, like to make money or to grow a following or do any of that. I got onto Twitter because my family friend recommended it so that I can learn more. Then I started seeing the cartoon characters posting the charts. I was like, I can do this. So I did. I taught myself how to trade. And then I was in a very entrepreneurial spirit then, because it was kind of like, I have to figure something out because I couldn't work at my job in healthcare anymore. So it was kind of out of necessity. So I was like, okay, well, I'm seeing all these people network. So networking's got to be good. Like you got to network to get opportunities, to get a job or whatever it is. So I was like, you know what? I want to meet some of these people in crypto so I can continue to educate myself and become a better trader and do all these different things. So then I started hosting free meetups. My first meetup was at a bar in the hood, and like 3 people showed up, and it was my daughter's dad, my sister, and then two good friends of mine that were already in crypto.
I love that.
And then eventually I just kept posting them on social media, and more people came. And that's kind of why I started the YouTube channel, was to live stream the events or to post them, because I had started gaining an audience on Twitter. And then that's how the YouTube channel started. But if you're a brand new content creator and you're listening to this, you have to post on every single social media platform. I've got 925,000 followers globally on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And so it's just about making content on every single platform, making time for it, and then go with the platforms that put more effort in the platforms that treat you well. But if you do want to make it in any industry, it doesn't matter if it's just crypto, you do have to get out there and you have to network. The cool thing about Twitter now is we have spaces so that you're able to communicate and talk to people through that and network that way. But it is important to go to the local events or go to some of the crypto events and really hang out and talk to people. Most people you meet online seem big and scary, but they're really not.
There's been a lot of talk recently about the conference circuits for Web3. The fact that there's, the same people at all of the conferences, not really learning too much, and that it should be a little bit more educational, maybe bringing in some new people. What are your thoughts on it?
It depends what events you're going to. So that's a big thing too, is like people, it really kind of depends. Like me personally, I'm older, so I'm kind of over the whole party scene. Like I'll go to the parties and whatever, and I'm always so thankful when I get invited. But a lot of the parties, some of those are free that you can go to. If you can't afford the conference, you could go to the parties, and that's a good place to network. But me personally, like it kind of depends. Like it kind of depends what event you go to, really, as far as like the same people. Those are the people that keep showing up. So if you want change, like I don't understand why people just don't start doing their own thing or start creating their own event and inviting speakers or create a network with people that they want to learn more from. Anybody is able to do that, and I don't know why we rely on other people to do it. So
that's a good point. Will you be at Bitcoin Nashville this year or any other conferences?
I'm not. I won't be at Bitcoin Nashville because I had already made plans. I know it's a big one. I'm kind of getting the FOMO, but at the same time, I feel like would be a bit too overwhelming with me. I made my daughter a promise that I gotta keep to her, and I think I might go to Canada. I'm going to go to Rare Evo. I'm going to do an event with Chainlink in West LA or in Venice next week. I'm going to go to Singapore 2049, and I'm not sure what other ones we have lined up this year.
That's amazing. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. Wendy, how can we continue to support you? What's one ask of your viewers?
Don't support me, support Belle. Listeners, if you're actually a really good interview, like really, really good, like very, very, very good, and you have a good radio voice too.
Thank you. Girl, you have no idea how much that means to me coming from you. Seriously, I appreciate that.
Oh, I'm horrible at interviews because I talk over people all the time. My ADHD takes over, and I'm just like, and I've got all these other things that I want to say. But then sometimes when you're doing interviews with people, you have to stick to a script. Yeah. And that's fun, but I just want to ask like really inappropriate questions sometimes because I'm curious about other things. And that's why I tend to stay with the Music Men, because that type of behavior is very much encouraged.
Like inappropriate questions like, show me your tattoos on your shoulder.
No, like I don't know. I just want to.
I wanted to see what that tattoo. Yeah.
So this one I can't tell the story behind this one because it's just very not appropriate. Or how I got it. It's just a long story, but yeah. And then this one too, I actually fell asleep when I got this one on New Year's Eve, or not New Year's Eve, on Christmas Eve.
Wow. Mm-hmm. How many tattoos do you have?
A lot. I'm going to get them removed though.
Are you really? Why?
I don't want them. I'm a different person. I've evolved. The one I'll keep though is this little fuzzy bat. And the reason why is because the initial the initial fuzzy bat, my friend Blobbert, who's apparently a pretty big tattoo artist now. But he did this in his room, and his room smelled so bad. So bad. He was in a boyfriend, or he was in a band with the guy I was dating at the time. And I was like, "Oh, you want to just tattoo me?" And he's like, "Yeah, just go get me 2 Jack in the Box tacos." So I did, and then he
Oh, sweet. Sweet, sweet. When's the last time you got one?
Oh, I think it was this one. What is this one? No, not the. I think it's the Sicilian one, because you guys almost saw my boobie. Because I'm very proud of my culture. I'm very proud to be a Sicilian American, Italian American. I love it. Proud of my people.
I love that. I love that. I told my son today that I had Wendy O coming on, and Wendy O is like huge in crypto,
Aw.
etc. He's a teenage boy, and he said, "Is she Wendy O? Like, where is that from?" I said, "She's Italian, and she's actually like she's very open about talking about her culture and stuff." And he said, "That's really cool. We don't see that often."
Yeah, it's
So
important. Like
yeah.
my daughter, the cool thing, like my daughter on her dad's side of the family, because he's Hispanic, he's Mexican. So the cool story is that his grandpa and his great grandpa, his great grandma, the grandpa was from Italy, and the grandma was Mexican from Mexico, and they met in LA, and they both didn't speak English, but because the languages are so similar, they got married, and they stayed together and stuff. They had like 10 kids or something crazy. But culture is important, and I feel like in America, instead of celebrating other people's cultures, we're like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. But really, it's like we're all in America. We're all supposed to be like appreciating everybody else's culture, because we all appropriate from it anyways.
Every single one of us. Yeah.
Like, but it's important. I like that. I like to let my daughter know, like, her background and where her people come from, and to be proud, to be my little pink baby.
Damn right. Damn right. That's exactly right. All right. Well, listen, it has been amazing having you on today. Truly, I appreciate every single thing. One thing that you're so looking forward to this year, 2024.
I am looking forward to ending the year in a very, very, very peaceful situation. The last 2 years of my life have been probably the hardest since my dad passed away when I was 10 years old. It has been a lot of drama, like personally for me and my daughter. She's fine, she's thriving, she's good now. But I'm just kind of trying to, I just want to be in peace. I just want to have peace and be in a very blissful place, and not have to worry about various things happening on a personal level. This has nothing to do with crypto, you dodo, so it's not your business. But just being able to heal on my terms, and heal slowly, and become more feminine, and not really have to be in like fight or flight mode.
When I came out, when I started becoming a little bit more public on crypto Twitter, and I shared my story that my kids lost their dad, my husband, and they were 2 and 9. When I shared that story, I was blown away because you sent me a DM on it, right? Kind of sharing it. And I want to say that because number one, it meant so much to me. When it's one of those things that when you share a story with someone, um, nothing can break it, right? Okay, that's one thing. And number two, you're a fucking busy woman.
Well,
And
you never have time. This is the thing, is like when people have the courage to share things publicly, and the reason why I won't share my stuff publicly is because no matter what I say, people won't there'll be people that support, or like, this is like, I'm so proud of you, and there'll be other people that just say a bunch of negative shit, and I don't really need that in my life. But it
Mhm.
doesn't matter how busy somebody is. If somebody is brave enough to share something that's personal about them, it's not that they're trying to play victim, it's not that they're trying to get attention. In most cases, people just want to share it so that they feel empowered, so that they could heal, and also so that it can potentially help somebody else. Because by you sharing that, you could have really helped somebody that was not feeling good about themselves, and you could have changed their life in a positive trajectory forever. You just don't know it.
Right, exactly. It is that humanity, it is that personal touch, Wendy, that makes you outshine other people, and today and in the future. So I'm going to end with that. And thank you to everybody who has tuned in today. Once again, you are in If You Know, You Know show. I do this show every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure that you are following me. Make sure that you are following Wendy. Make sure that you are following every single person that we bring onto the show. Because for real, I would not have them on here if I didn't think that they were all badasses. If you're listening on Spaces, thanks so much for listening. I am grateful for you. If you're going to be in Nashville next week, hit me up. I would love to see you personally. All right. And with that, thanks so much, everybody. See you on the flip side. Have a good one.